You guys ready?
You did.
Good. You better be.
Oh God, this worries me so
Oh,
much.
yeah, it does.
This worries me so
Why has he got that?
Help!
Why has he got that phone there?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you think Stone Cold Jack Kruse should stun the hell and open up a can of whoop ass on Ciaran and Ashley, give me a hell yeah.
Dead silence.
Hell yeah.
Dead silence. They don't want us. They don't want us to
No.
get whooped.
Yeah.
What do you have to say for yourselves, you two? Flogging me on my own podcast.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. We
What?
manned the ship.
What?
The captain went down. The
What?
ship kept going.
What?
It doesn't matter. What do you think?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm back for another episode of Grandstand Gurus, the #1 sports podcast on the Explosion Network. Thank you two, for looking after the old girl for me while I was away.
You're welcome.
And for flog-knowing me on my own podcast. Lucky we do these things remotely, or I'd be opening up some stunners on you.
It's okay. There's time.
Extra Life.
Yes, of course. Extra Life.
November 5th,
You're going to get
Come
stunned.
watch us get
I
stunned.
think.
How are you going? How you going, guys? I'm back.
Doing good.
Another week.
Doing really well.
Good week. Interesting
Really
week in
well.
sport we had.
Interesting to say the least.
Very much so. Very much so. What were all our highlights?
Well, for me, there's only one amazing highlight of Essendon getting the crap kicked out of them for 4 quarters.
That was pretty good, wasn't
Hell yeah. That was enjoyable for me as a Hawthorn fan, but as a footy fan. Thank you,
Who doesn't
Sydney
like
Swans.
Essendon?
I appreciate you. You did us a service.
it? That was good, wasn't it? I always enjoy Essendon getting whipped and the teams that I hate, and it was good to see them get bloody trounced. So yeah, it was. Buddy Franklin played 1 quarter of footy in the game and just tore them apart. It was fantastic.
Just tore them apart, and then the 4th quarter, they're just like, I just put him on ice.
Yeah.
Just, you know,
Yeah, you don't need to.
injury's good for
A
next
little
week.
corky. Let him have the quarter off. There's nothing wrong with that. Ashley, what about you?
Yeah. I'll say Nathan Lyon's match for the Australia during the week against Bangladesh.
Bloody right.
13 wickets.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always underrated, but he's a pretty awesome guy.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah. It was he's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all
he's the
time.
GOAT.
Greatest off-spin bowler we've ever had.
He's the leading wicket taker in the world this year. So.
Yeah, he's had a pretty good year.
It's hard to believe. Yeah.
And that was just a really good bowling display, and they needed to put in a performance like that, considering how they went for the first for the first test. So disappointing to draw a series with Bangladesh, but I guess it might just rattle the cages a little bit and make sure they're not going to take things too easily. We do have an Ashes series coming up this summer, so can't take that too lightly. But
Also, another highlight is Blake Ferguson's brain fart near the end of the Broncos Roosters match,
and
where it was almost a 40-20, so he threw the ball back into the field to try and stop it, but then there was none of his teammates around, so Corey Oates went and scored a try.
oh no way, unlucky.
Yeah.
How were my NRL picks, Ash? How were they?
How'd he go?
All accurate. Unfortunately, I got the layout of the next round wrong, so all the...
Oh, did you?
Oh, that's fine.
That makes me sad. But, you know, the Cowboys won. You can't stop a hurricane.
I think. I'm pretty sure I got it wrong, but...
Yeah, no. It's fine. Just
No.
trust me.
Yep, the hurricane's coming.
There's a hurricane coming through.
Oh god.
Sorry to everybody in Florida.
Did anyone see the video Chris Jericho posted on like his Facebook or whatever? He's like he's showing Irma like destruction and stuff in his front yard and what it did, and he's like Gregory Helms just made the list.
God damn it.
Quite funny.
When there's a Hurricane Gregory, I will be very appreciative.
Mm-hmm.
Not of
Yes.
its destruction, though.
Yes. No. Of course not. I'm sure there has been at some point.
They should. I hope so. I mean, I don't, but I do. Look, let's just Jack. What was your highlight of the week?
It was an interesting weekend of sport. I thought leading up to the game, I was sort of the Friday night, the game on Thursday night. I was sort of, it went the way I thought it would. Adelaide won. I didn't think they would win as well as they did, but they put in a fantastic effort. I didn't really pay much attention to it. The Friday night game, though, I went into it being like, I'm going to, the good vibe feeling, everyone's getting up and about Richmond, blah, blah, blah. And the game start, I'm like, I'm going to barrack for Richmond, that's the feel-good story. Everyone's getting behind it. And the game started and I just could not do it. I tried. Nope. And I tried. I'm like, no, I can't do it. I cannot barrack for Richmond. I just cannot do it. So that was an interesting game of footy to watch. What a performance, though, that Richmond put on. A pressure just boil over in that game. And Geelong could not get an inch. It looks like they were being suffocated. So
there was this amazing 45 seconds. I think it was in the second quarter where... There was a good 45 seconds of ball movement where every time a Geelong player got the ball, it instantly got tackled by a Richmond player. All in the space. And there was like 5-6 players all getting tackled. And it was crazy, the pressure they were putting on it. Was,
and they kept it up for 4 quarters. That's the most impressive thing.
The win should have been by a lot more if Richmond could have scored early. Should have been a lot more. Considering that with the way Richmond played and the stinky performance that Geelong put on, and Geelong was only 15 points down at the major break. It should have been a lot worse.
Oh, for sure. It was, they were lucky to not be trounced in the first half. Richmond just didn't make the most of their opportunities, but it was a fair performance. And the games the first game on Saturday was forgettable in the Sydney-Essendon game, but my highlight was that last extra time of the Port Adelaide game, Port Adelaide West Coast game. Just the theatre of finals. It had a bit of everything. It had missed goals. It had touched goals. It had free kicks, a kick after the siren in extra time. Just all the theatre that you want in a game of finals footy. Considering all the other games through the weekend were pretty forgettable, it was good that we got that one. They put on a bit of a show. Disappointing the way that it sort of went down at the very end with, a dubious free kick given to Luke Shuey. I don't like that.
Yeah, that wasn't a free kick.
It wasn't. It should not have been a free kick. As far as what the AFL came out and said at the start of the season, as far as those interpretations, and they have not been paying them. I've seen many of those go unpaid all year, and the umpires just got sucked in, unfortunately. And you can people have been making the excuse about, it happens in real time, and we're watching replays, and it's hard for the umpires to make that decision. The umpires know the players that do this stuff. They know the Joel Selwoods, the Luke Shueys, the Lindsay Thomases, the Toby McLeans. They know the guys who shrug the shoulders, who do those things, who drop at the knees to get those free kicks. And all through the season, they haven't been paying them. And unfortunately, they just got sucked into the moment on Saturday night. And but all credit to the Kruse. They got over the line. Shuey, he still had to kick the goal, so it's not like the free kick won him the game. Sorry, the Eagles, yes. It's not like, he still had to kick the goal. It's not like the free kick was the deciding factor. So he nerves the steel and put the goal through. But so that was probably my highlight, just the theatre of that, and had a bit of everything.
Yeah. So do you think after this match that the replay for the grand final is maybe that's going to come back into conversation? Whether they're going to do that anymore? Like extra time in the future?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
It has to be. Has to be. That game went insane.
Yeah, they scrapped the grand final replay as of last year. So
did they?
Yeah. So
okay.
They, I believe it's extra time now. I think it's 2 extra time. That's just so
6 minutes. 6 minutes either way without a major change in between. You just change sides and you keep going.
Yeah.
If it's still a draw after those, it's golden goal or it's
golden
behind
point.
Or goal.
Yeah. So
it's just
golden point. Yeah. Next score wins basically.
Yeah. Should that be introduced during the regular season then?
It is.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
No.
Isn't it? Is it just finals?
Just the grand final.
Yeah. Oh, well, duh, because of draws. Duh.
We've had like 3 draws this season.
Sorry, I was a part of
we had like 3 in the space of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so, no, I don't think so. I think the draw is still still has a part in the game. I don't think we need to go to that length, but I like the fact that the grand final will be decided on grand final day. Coming back the next week, it's sort of, it's just a weird sort of thing. It's only happened twice in history, but I'm glad they scrapped it. and went with the extra time thing. It definitely makes for more theatre for sure.
Definitely.
Very good. All right, kicking into it. Ashley, we're going to start with you.
Yep.
What do you got?
I wanted to talk about home grounds and how important they are because this last weekend we've had 3 teams across the 2 codes effectively not get home ground advantage.
Oh,
Obviously,
hell no.
Geelong, Obviously, Geelong, they weren't allowed to play at Skilled Park.
Yep.
And then both of the New South Wales teams, the Sharks and Manly, they didn't get to play at their home grounds because they got moved to Sydney.
Yep.
So, do you think that's really fair? I mean, it sort of makes it a neutral match, except of course in the Geelong game.
In hindsight, for AFL,
yeah,
I think it was almost the wrong decision because that was a Richmond home game.
Oh, for sure.
that was Richmond's crowd. That I think it's a really hard discussion because beforehand I was totally against Geelong hosting it in Geelong and having it in the MCG, just because I feel like the Geelong home ground is such a different ground for people to play in compared to all the other grounds. It's a lot narrower in places, and Geelong's really just got... How many years have they been playing there now? It hasn't been that many.
What do you mean? At Cardinia Park?
Continue. At that
I don't know,
since it was
70, 80 years.
Oh, okay. I thought... No, sorry, I got... shut up, Ciaran.
What are you talking about?
It's pretty new, It's pretty new.
They've renovated it a few times, but they've been playing...
renovated a few times.
They've been playing there...
They've
been playing there for their entire history.
Yeah, that's fine. That's just, that's another Ciaran moment. That's fine. Put those in the bank. We'll make a special podcast of them later in the year.
Yeah.
Geelong is also in a rebuild year. We all need to remember this together.
I nearly spat I nearly had to do a spit take when I heard of that, listening back to the episode. I think it's unfair on the team, but as far as recent history, it was the fair decision to make as far as Geelong. I can't really speak for the NRL teams, but as far as Geelong goes, if they had played that game at Cardinia Park, I would have chucked a wobbly.
Why?
Because in 2015, we earned a home final against Adelaide, and not even a Melbourne team, an interstate team, and we played at the MCG instead of Etihad Stadium. So, as far as I'm concerned, Etihad Stadium is our home ground, not the MCG. We had to play at the MCG. We could make that argument also.
So you wanted that game at Etihad?
Yeah,
so you're
absolutely.
in favour of home teams getting the home ground, really?
It's
just in this case.
In the moment he was.
No, but this is the thing. No, that's what I mean. Like, I think it's unfair on the team, but as far as history goes, that's just par for the course. You've got to cop that. That's the way the AFL's been doing it. They can't change. This is the thing, and I've spoken about this many times.
Yes, they can change it. They go, we're going to let the team who finished at the top of the ladder get their home
this is
final.
What I'm talking about
ground.
is the AFL change. Anytime anything happens ever, the AFL just change the rule. Change the rule. Change the rule. Change the rule. Change it. Change. For the
Sometimes that needs to be done.
Forever and a day, they've made decisions like these. They played, the Sydney GWS game at ANZ Stadium last year. They played, the Bulldogs game the year before at the MCG. This year they played the Geelong game at the MCG, and that's the way it should be. Same last year. Geelong played Hawthorn at the MCG. These are, the way the AFL's done it is for the audience, for the crowds,
for the most money. That's what they're doing.
No, it's not even for the most money. You've got to play devil's advocate here. God damn it, I can't even speak. Last year there was the incident with the GWS Doggies game, wasn't there, where there wasn't enough tickets for Western Bulldogs fan because...
Yeah, we were kicking up a bit of a stink about it.
And that was kicking up stink, and that means at least MCG has... what's the capacity at Cardinia? Is it...
I think it's like 40, 45, something 40? Like that.
Well, if at MCG everybody has a chance to get there. It's sold out stupidly quick.
Yep.
But everybody at least has a chance to get to MCG. Yeah. Like, it's got
everybody does have a chance. And they have to just buy their tickets quickly.
That's my point, though, with the MCG. I mean, with the AFL, is that their MO for the past however long with these types of things is that these games, they get scheduled for finals. They get the ground that they get scheduled on is based on the crowd that they're going to pull. And that's the way they've been doing it. They can't then one year go, oh, Geelong have kicked up a stink. We'll let them play at their home ground. No, maybe you know what, they probably should be. But as far as the way they've been doing it for the last decade, they haven't been playing those games at those suburban grounds. They've been playing them at the MCG, and that's the way.
And it was above 90,000 people.
It was 90. It was like it was like 98 or 97,000 people.
98. So you're saying just for the fact the home ground gets that home ground advantage?
No, sorry, it was 95.
The AFL,
I think, I can't remember.
95. The AFL should turn away 45,000 people.
Yes. They earn the right. They should be able to play at their home ground.
Interesting.
45,000 people.
That could be the difference between playing in the grand final and not playing in the grand final.
Oh, too bad, so sad.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like,
poor little putty
I'm still
cats.
bitter from back in the days where
it-
they had to play
they should-
a final in Melbourne every week, and the Brisbane Lions had to play in 2004, the year they lost the grand final. They had to go to Melbourne instead of having a home final. So I'm bitter still.
So that's
still.
stupid. That's stupid. Yeah.
Question. NRL, does the pitch have to be exactly the same in every ground?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the pitches is the same in every ground.
Yeah, because it's
Same as
based
every
on
ground?
like
'Cause
meterage
it's-
and stuff.
Yeah, because it's still... That's what confuses me about AFL, is that the pitches have different...
We call them
Like,
grounds. Kieran.
Slightly.
Pitch, it's a pitch. I'm sticking with my words.
You're saying
I know.
pitch? You're definitely saying pitch there?
Pitch. Jack, you're a pitch. You can't believe that because I said it.
Bleep you in a minute.
Yeah, it's always confused me that the grounds can be different sizes in AFL. So I guess that's the biggest reason why it's weird to change between them as well.
Yeah, I've always found that bizarre. It's I guess just one of the little idiosyncrasies of our game that makes it so unique and special. I guess is that we have grounds that are half the size of other grounds, and we have umpires who judge games differently depending on what side of the bed they woke up on in the morning.
It's okay, Jack. It's okay, Jack. That's what makes our game special. What makes our game special.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, look, I like I said, I think it's unfair to the team, but as far as history goes, it's the way it's got to be. And it would be unfair on the teams that have been shafted previously if they started all of a sudden because one team has a little bit of a sook about it, as Geelong generally do, they just change it for them. Would not be fair on all the other teams.
I don't agree with that line of thinking, but
it would have been a sticking point if they changed it for Geelong. It would have been a sticking point just as much.
It's like, why do they get? Why? And then everyone would go, why do they get special treatment? Why don't Bulldogs get to play home games?
Well, then you'll get to do it next year when you make finals. If you make finals,
yeah.
Also, just a point on that Geelong game. I felt so bad for the umpires in that game. Holy crap, were Richmond fans just complaining the entire game.
They were crazy, weren't they?
Did you hear the story of the lady who cancelled her Cats
I did
membership
read that.
because of the Richmond supporters?
Yeah.
It's pretty sad.
What did she do? What happened? No, I didn't hear that story.
The Richmond supporters were very intimidating and stuff, like making
Saying things
sexual
like
connotations.
Up the P word.
Constantly, yeah.
And stuff like that. And then she felt sexually assaulted, kind of, and then left.
Well, that's not very nice.
Yeah.
No.
Bloody Richmond supporters.
Goddamn Richmond supporters, go back to Tigerland without your silverware.
So obviously, Ashley, you're well for the teams getting their home field advantage. So what happened?
If something's wrong, just because history's in that it's been so historically that way doesn't mean you stay that way forever.
No, you're right. You're probably right, but
yeah, it's like if you said the N-word back in the day, you don't say the N-word now.
Unless you PewDiePie.
Just yeah.
What a dickhead.
Or you're black.
Well, we can say dickhead. We can say dickhead on this podcast.
Can we? That's news.
Yeah, absolutely. We absolutely can say dickhead. In
Jack,
the context,
Ash and my reaction there was priceless.
in relation to PewDiePie, we most definitely can. Very good. Yeah, no, look, I don't disagree. I think maybe they should. I'm just bitter, obviously. If you hadn't noticed in the first 20-odd episodes of this podcast, I am bitter. About everything, just about. Very
Like
good.
your Jack Kruse salt shakers at the nearest Explosion Network shop.
Yeah.
Coming to a corner near you.
coming to all good retailers. All right. Moving on. Ciaran Marchant,
Yep.
what you got?
Yep. Talking about the captains of the AFL and leadership, because I was really impressed, and it's probably because I was a stickler, and he's one of my old boys. Was in that extra time moment, just before extra time between Port Adelaide and West Coast, Sam Mitchell, formerly of the Hawthorn Football Club, now at West Coast, showed some really great leadership, even though he's not the captain. Showed some great leadership where he pulled all the team together and then made sure everybody in the team understood.
Was this
what was
before
about to
or
happen.
was this before or after he spat on the bloke?
He didn't spit on the bloke. Let's not get into that. He did not.
Nah,
spit
he's a
on
good
the-
leader. Nah, he's good.
He's
Nah.
just
Yeah,
But in the moment I'm talking about, I was really impressed, and it was a really good show of leadership to pull maybe the younger guys have got, make sure everybody knows what they're doing, so they can just focus on footy, because those extra time rules can be pretty weird. So, what I'd like to do, in front of me, we're going to do one of our favourite things here at the Explosion Network.
How we just?
I've got a list of all the current AFL captains for each team. I would like us to go through and rate how well you think they captained their team this year out of 10.
Okay.
Jeez.
Very good.
Okay?
Cool.
Okay,
I like
so
this. We're going
we'll start
alphabetical.
Alphabetical. So, from the Adelaide Football Club, currently captained by Taylor Walker.
Texan Walker.
Tex himself.
Out of 10.
Out of 10. For me, I'll start. I'm going to give him a 6.
A 6?
A 6?
Jeez.
Finished on top of the ladder.
6. He's on top of the ladder, but I don't think it's because of his leadership. He was... He's not... When I look at teams, I don't see... Like, Adelaide, I see as just one good, cohesive unit. I don't see their leader standing out and making sure what's going on, which at the same time is a good leader, but I'm still saying 6 in my personal opinion.
Okay. I'd give
I'll
him...
go an 8.
Yeah.
8 sounds like a good number.
I'd give him a 7.6.
Oh, here we go.
I'd give him a 7.6 only because I think he's a really good on-field leader, but he doesn't get a higher mark from me because I've seen him be quite selfish at times, having shots on goal from ridiculous angles and that kind of thing. If I hadn't seen a bit of that through the year, I'd say he's a really good leader. He carries himself really well. He's a good example for young players, and he's a very commanding player as well. So, but he gets that's my ranking for him.
Definitely. Okay, cool.
I have a lot of respect for Tex Walker,
Definitely.
especially seeing as he was captain during that dark period for Adelaide.
Oh, for
so-
sure,
Yeah,
absolutely.
of course.
And when I remember when Phil Walsh made him captain, it was about So the story that came out, because a heap of people sort of put their hand up as captain to be captain, and they wanted to be captain, and etc. etc. And the reason he picked Tex, and it was sort of out of the blue, he's like, Walker's the captain. They're like, everyone was like, wow, that's sort of out of the blue. It was because he was the only one who came to Phil Walsh and spoke about the club and what the club needed, and not himself and why he would be a good captain. He spoke about what the club, what was good for the club. So I think that's a pretty big indicator about what kind of character he is.
Excellent. Moving right along. The Brisbane Lions, for our very own Ashley's home turf. Dane Beams, new captain this year. How was his inaugural season as a captain?
Yeah, I'd give him a 7 or an 8.
Ooh,
yeah, he's
really?
been very good. I mean, he's been playing probably the last half of the season with a busted shoulder or elbow. I can't remember which one it is, but he's been playing injured most, just so he can get on the field and help out all the young guys. And yeah, I mean, he's not a big talker. I don't think he's more of a lead by actions, that sort of thing. So yeah, I rate him.
Okay.
I'd give him a... sorry, you go.
5.
Yeah.
I was going to give him a solid 5. I
Yeah.
think he hasn't done anything that's blown my pants off or wowed me, but he isn't a terrible captain or anything. Richmond's in a hard period, so to come in as captain during this period,
Brisbane.
I think Brisbane. God, what did I say?
You said Richmond.
You said Richmond.
Richmond.
Now Richmond are in a
Richmond's also
rebuild.
in a hard period.
Premiership
Add that
favourites.
to our highlights. Brisbane in a bit of a hard point, so it's an interesting time for him to come in as captain. I think for my score to rise for him as captain, I'd like to see how he leads the club into a better future going forward.
Yeah, he gets a 5.2 for me. I just think I don't think he played enough of the year. Not because of he was injured, obviously, but I just didn't see enough of him. Obviously, the Brisbane Lions on-field performances were a reflection of that as well. Sorry, Ash.
Excellent.
It's okay.
Sorry, Ash. Going to the Blues, Carlton, Mark Murphy.
I give him probably
5.
I'd probably give him like a 6.1. I think considering where they're at, I think he had a really good year on the field. I think he stepped up again as captain. I feel like he's sort of matured a little bit and showed a bit of leadership out there. But obviously their on-field wasn't a great year for them. So yeah, that's about where he is for me.
I'll give him a 7 just because I think the development of Carlton has come along leaps and bounds since he's been captain. I think the Carlton before his leadership and now and after is very different now. I believe there was a point in Carlton was in a very dark place just before he came along to be captain. So I'm going to give him a 7. Ash?
Yeah, about a 6.
About a 6?
Sounds about right.
Yep.
About a 6. Sliding down forward for Collingwood, Scott Pendlebury. Now, I'm going to, have a hot take here, so to speak. I'm going to say like a 4 for Scott Pendlebury. For this, I think, looking at this year, you're going to disagree with me, and that's fine. I don't think he's been a great captain this year. I think there was a point in the middle of the season where he just didn't seem to care, or he didn't look like he cared. There was I was totally supportive of him with the whole, he was said that he was going to leave if his wife gave birth, because that's totally understandable. I just think that situation probably could have been handled a little bit better. So from me, I'm going a 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say a 5. I mean,
Really?
you never can. Yeah.
It's harsh. See,
I mean, Collingwood's been pretty
pretty
awful all year.
They've been average, but
below average.
I'd give him an 8, to be honest. I think the way he carries himself as captain of that team, I have so much respect for Scott Pendlebury. I think he's one of the best captains in the league. He doesn't shy away from things when things go wrong. He takes responsibility. He will always speak his mind and make sure people are accountable in the club. I mean, he leads by example on the field as well. No game that he played injured for the first half of the year. Let's not forget that.
He did have broken ribs.
And then for the second half of the year, he played fantastically, and then he broke his hand or his finger, I think it was, and had to miss the last few games. I think he's an outstanding leader, and probably one of the better captains in the AFL, from my opinion. So he gets an 8 for me.
Okay, an 8 from me. Moving right along to the Essendon Bombers. Dyson Heppel, brand new captain this year. First season back after that ugly drug issue, scandal.
Saga.
Conviction.
Ashley Hobley, was starting with you on this one.
I don't know, maybe a 7. I haven't seen much of Essendon this season, so I can't really give an affirmative view, but that's my gut instinct to Essendon. Cool. Yeah, they've performed pretty well. I guess they made finals this year, so Dyson's a good character. So
yeah, I'll give him 6 only because there's been times where I've seen him on the field where he probably hasn't, or in certain situations where he's let other people sort of do a little bit of the leading and sort of step back a little bit. I haven't seen him sort of grab the bull by the horns, so to speak. So he gets a 6 for me.
Get a 6 from you? For me, I'm going to go with a 7, just because I dislike the club, but the way he has handled himself in the couple of TV interviews I've seen him done, the radio interviews, I think he's handled himself extremely well for a very guilty man.
Jesus.
I think he's handled himself really well, and he has a bit of class when talking about the situation and moving forward with the Essendon Football Club. So,
guilty man.
It's Essendon fans. It wasn't your comeback story, but the captain's all right.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
Well, yeah, they've been here for years.
They were around for a while.
Yeah. Fremantle, first year this year, Nat Fife.
I'll give him a 2.
Give him a 2?
Yeah. He didn't play a lot. He didn't play well. And from all accounts, the way he is viewed internally by his peers is not favourably. He seems to be quite arrogant, and while he's a fantastic player, I don't know that he's a great leader.
Yep. I'll agree with that sentiment. I'll give him a 3. Just because, especially for me, this was a thing that you go back in to like the Premier League and to soccer. You never make your star player the captain.
100%. Yeah,
you never make your star
100%.
player the captain because, like, they're not going to focus on the rest of the team like a captain should. They're not going to worry about the young kids. They're going to just worry about them, pretty much themselves, which is their job. If you're the start of a team, worry about yourself. But you shouldn't be the captain, in my opinion. Ashley?
Yeah, I agree. A 3. Yeah.
3.
I mean, it's hard. Seeing as he's injured a lot of the time, it's hard to make an impact.
Yeah.
It's his
As
first
captain
full year
when you're on the sidelines,
full season almost. So, but I don't think he's the right choice for captain. David Mundy's been solid previously, so
agree.
I didn't understand that choice. Moving forward, Geelong, Joel Selwood.
9. I mean,
9.
No, we all
It's
know
hard
on
to-
this.
He might be the best captain in the competition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Arguably.
One of them, yeah, absolutely. I think not much you can say about Joel Selwood. Carries himself really well, leads by example, hard as nails, never gives up. I mean, there's not much else you really need to say about Joel Selwood. He's a fantastic leader.
Definitely. He is the golden standards. I was a little disappointed with him this week. I think he came back a bit too early.
Yeah, but that's not his fault. That's
injury. It's not his fault. It's the club.
Yeah, that's the club sort of getting him, probably not making the right decision at a selection level. And they would have had all of the information, the data around his fitness and where he was at, and they would have known he was probably at 60, maybe 70%. And a player like that, you almost take him like any other player in the league. You probably don't take him in, but I think it's worth a risk, guy like that, because you know what he can. I saw him get knocked out earlier this year, like knocked out cold, like he was out before he hit the ground, and he jogged off the oval. Yeah.
That's some.
That sums him up.
Some toughness right there. This is the first of the interesting one, and I want a bit more of a conversation around this for the next couple that do have this. So this is the Gold Coast Suns. This is the first club in our list that has co-captains. So their current co-captains are Tom Lynch and Stephen May. For my choice of this, I'm going to give him, and you have to judge them as a captain group. I'm going to give him a 4.
Yeah.
Just because I think Stephen May should possibly be the captain by himself. Because I don't agree. Tom Lynch I find very much the same as Nat 5. Tom Lynch should be worrying about being forward, taking marks, scoring goals.
I think the captaincy. Yeah, the captaincy probably weighed on him this year. I mean, going into the season, people were rating him as the best forward in the competition, and he just didn't deliver this year. So
no.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, Stephen May is probably not the greatest captain either. I mean, he'll get a couple of weeks every season. I think he has a tendency to do some dumb things, but of that group, he's probably the best choice. Yeah,
of that group.
They don't have much to choose from, unfortunately. And I'd probably give him a 4 or 5. They just don't have. They're both very young players. They don't have a lot of experience. So I think on no fault of their own, they're still obviously learning the caper.
Ash, what was your score?
4.
4.
Let's go 4.
Okay, going forward, another dual captaincy. Greater Western Sydney, Phil Davis and Callan Ward.
Now, this is an interesting one. Now, I give them a 6, only because their average gets brought. So Callan Ward is one of the great players in the competition, one of the most underrated players, one of the great leaders in the competition. And unfortunately, their captaining average is brought down by Phil Davis, who is a pest. He is a niggler on the field. He's a great defender. I'm not taking anything away from his ability, but he's a pest and he's a diver. And he's not a fair player. And he dishes it out as much as anyone, but he gets a little tickle and he goes down like a sack of potatoes. So he's already been flog-nommed once.
Who did he go down against? I can't remember.
Plenty. Not just Redpath. He went down against. I think when they played Richmond, he took a dive. When they played Geelong earlier in the year, he took a dive. He acts like you touch him, and he looks like he's been shot from the bloody someone that's got a sniper rifle in the third tier and has taken a shot at him. So unfortunately for the GWS Giants, their average gets brought down by a not so great leader in Phil Davis.
Yeah, I'm fully for this. I think Callum Ward should be the captain by himself.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go 6 as well.
Yep,
Ashley,
6 for me as well.
6
Yep.
for me,
On them.
6 across the board. Moving along to the Hawthorn Football Club. Jared Ruffhead, first year as captain. For me, I'm going to give him a 6.
6?
I'm going to give him a 6. And this is me because this is my tough love. This is my tough love. And I thought, when I wrote this list up earlier, I was looking at captains. This year's been a tough year for Ruffy. First year back from cancer. First year as captain. In the first round, he had to decide that Luke Hodge was not playing because he missed training. There's been some tough decisions. I think Ruffy has struggled finding his feet as captain. I think later in the season he's been fantastic, and I really was proud of him. Earlier in the season, he was finding a weird. For me as a fan, it just seemed like he was finding a weird. Like he was trying to find where he needed to fit into the team, because the Ruffy of old for me was always up forward, taking decent marks, and then always in that the forward 100 from the pitch. This season there was a lot of times where he would be defensive, take the mark in the back pocket, and then there'd be nowhere to go. So I think I just don't know. I'm never a fan of forwards being captains, so that's probably what's affected my decision just then. Jack,
I might go a 7. Yeah, I mean, it must be pretty hard to be out of the game for that long and then thrust into the captaincy after a guy like Luke Hodge has been leading that side for so long.
Of course it is, and I'm not taking anything away from him. He's had a good year. But
I think he's been.
Do you think it was the right decision to give it to him after
I think
he's been
it
out
was.
for a while?
I'm fully behind him, and I think he's going to go to great places. I just think, for me as a fan, it's better to rate him lower now and let him build up and let him be the captain that follows on from Ruffy and really.
How old is Ruffhead?
Ruffy's 30.
Okay.
So he's got another 3-4 years in him.
I'd probably give him like a 7.6.
6.
Yeah, I think he had a really good year considering what he's come back from, the way he carried himself. The few times I saw him live, he was a great leader on the field. Used his actions to lead by example, and took won a lot of games. Not that they won a lot of games, but he was influential in the games that they won. So I think he had a really good year.
We won 10. We were like 10-1-11, so it's not terrible. It's better than we should have been considering the start of the year. All right, another co-captaincy situation at the Melbourne Demons. Nathan Jones and Jack Viney.
1. That's my answer.
Are you actually giving them a 1? Why are you giving them a 1?
Because they're Melbourne. No, taking all bias out of it, I'll probably give them a 7. Only I think Jack Viney's a great leader, and as is Nathan Jones. I think they're both really good on-field leaders, and only give them I don't give them a higher score. I think both of them as leaders, as players, as the way they carry themselves, the way they lead by example with their actions, I think are top notch. But their leadership is not just about how you perform, it's how you bring your team along with you and how you get your team to buy in. And I don't think that the Demons have fully bought into the kind of work ethic and example that Jones and Viney lead by. Myriad of different, indiscretions over the year with players getting suspended, with thuggery, losing games they should win, obviously missing out on the finals, just those things. I don't think their leadership is obviously strong enough for them to get their wider playing group to follow them and act the way they do.
I'm going to give them a 6.5 just because when this was first announced at the start of the year, I wasn't a huge fan of the idea just because co-captaincy is a bit of a seems a bit whitewashy almost. Like they don't want to dedicate themselves to either player fully. Yes, Jack Viney's coming up and he's learning, and I think Nathan Jones has been a good captain for them. They just needed to either say, hey, we're sticking with Jones for another year, or a pull on the trigger on Viney, let's go Viney. So, I don't know, it's just my opinion. Ash, what do you think?
Yeah, I think a 7's a fair assessment of Melbourne. The guys, yeah.
Okey-dokey.
I mean, Nathan Jones took that decision very well, apparently.
He did.
I heard he was not too pleased.
Oh, really?
Or he was sort of shocked, like he was almost shocked. He's like,
Yeah.
what the hell? Like, why?
Apparently, he got told on the golf course, from what I remember, from earlier in the season. So
Something
on
like
hole
that.
2.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so this one, North Melbourne, first year as captain, Jack Siebel. For me, I think this is possibly the worst captain's decision on this list. I don't know why Jack got chosen as captain. I don't think he's captain material. In all the North Melbourne games I've watched with my dad, he's not acted how I think a captain would. I think there are players on that team that could very well step up and be captain, but I don't think it's him. So I'm giving him a 2.
Yeah, I echo that. I'm
The
not
fact
a
that-
fan. 2 for me.
2.
yeah, same. The fact that I didn't even realise he was the captain of North Melbourne says a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
He's not the captain material. There are far better people. Or
So this is the thing. I don't think that there are. This is the issue that they have. I mean, he's probably the best thing that they've got. I mean, someone like Ben Cunnington probably, or I wouldn't even say Sean Higgins.
I was gonna say I would propose Ben Cunnington, but then I said Ben Cunnington gets into the most fights on that team, so I don't.
He does
at the
get
same
suspended
time.
a bit.
It's-
Yeah. They don't have a lot of good leadership, unfortunately. So
Okay, so that one there. Port Adelaide, Travis Boak. Travis Boak.
I'd probably give him a 7 as well. I think he's a really good leader. I think he's in the same mould as Joel Selwood, leads by example. Similar to Tex Walker, I've seen him be probably selfish over the year and take some shots he probably shouldn't and does some things he probably shouldn't as a leader. But I think he does carry himself really well, and he doesn't get a higher score. Similar to Melbourne, they lost a lot of games they probably should have won, Port Adelaide. So he has to take some responsibility for that.
Yeah, no, I'm echoing those thoughts. 7 from me for the same reasons. Ashley,
Yeah, I'd say 7.5.
7.5.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Moving on forward to the Richmond Football Club, Trent Cotchin. I'm giving this man an 8 because I think he's possibly one of the most passionate captains about his club in the league currently. That goal, like even just, I think the best moment to caption his passion was after that goal he kicked Friday night.
Yeah,
It was pretty good. It was pretty bloody good.
it was a fantastic goal, but B, his reaction and just you could see that man cares about that club. So, giving him an 8.
I'll give him a 9.
Yeah. I'd give him a 9.5.
He's
I think he's been outstanding all year. The way he's changed himself as a media performer, not just the way he stepped up on the field. He's been the face of that club. His teammates love him. I think he's been fantastic. So yeah, I think he's been the best captain all year, Trent Cotchin.
Yeah.
That's interesting that you say that when you've said that other teams have lost games that they should have won, and Richmond's probably the team that's done that most prolifically.
Yeah, they're close losses though that they've. Yeah, no, you're right. That's a fair point, but I just think overall, like his positives outweigh. Like had they won those games that they should, the one against Fremantle, the one against GWS, those games where they lost, really close games, he probably would have got a 10.
Okay.
But that's how good I think he's been this year.
Yep, we got the St Kilda with Jared Geary.
And a similar, I did know that Jaron Geary was
didn't know
captain.
he was captain?
I did know that
Yeah,
he
me
was,
too.
but in a similar thing, I imagine there's a lot of people who wouldn't even know that he was captain.
I thought Rewalt still was.
Yeah, there you go. So I give him a 2.
Yeah.
Similar reasons to the others. He's not a. I don't think he's a natural born leader, and they've had their struggles this year, obviously, and he's got to take some responsibility for that.
Yeah, a 3 from me.
3, I gave him a 5 just because I was feeling a bit nicer for him because I think the St Kilda has come a decent way, but at the same time, who knows he's captain. Sydney Swans, Mr. Josh Kennedy. Kennedy.
Kennedy.
Kennedy.
Yeah, it's a good one. Ash, what do you reckon?
Maybe a 7. I mean, he leads by example, but I don't know how much of an effect he has on the rest of the team. I mean, he just does what he does and leads
I'm
the way
going
he
with
does.
an 8.
Yeah.
I'm going with an 8.
Yeah.
I think he's stepped up.
I mean,
I think it's,
there was that start of the season as well. You've got to remember that.
Yeah,
0
but-
and 7, but
0 and 6. I think he never went
6.
0
I apologize.
0 and 6. But I think that at the same time, that 0 and 6, that took some major focus and some major.
A lot of scrutiny. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. To turn that around to become, they probably should have been 4th on the ladder at the end of the season if they hadn't lost to the Hawthorn Hawks twice. Suck it. That turnaround, I think that club's good. I think for me, I think it's almost a challenge in that club, in my opinion, to make yourself stand out in that midfield because nobody's amazing star in that midfield, but at the same time, nobody's bad in that midfield. It's a good midfield, but it's just there's no person that I'm like that person's a star. He's the main person to look at in the midfield. So, what about you, Jack?
Yeah, I think probably 7 as well.
7.
To turn that season around was really good, and he does lead by example with the way he does things, but he's not an overly loud, he's not an overly vocal captain or anything like that. He's not a big media performer or anything, not that you need to be when you're up in Sydney, but he's sort of like a
The opposite may be true, actually. If you're in Sydney, you should be trying to push the game out there if you're captain.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Last two teams, West Coast, Shannon Hearn. I think it's towards the end of his captaincy. Should it be? Should this year be his last year?
I mean, it depends who you've got to take over for him. They don't really have a clear
replacement,
clear successor, to Shannon Hearn. So he might have to go around again. I'd give him a 6. I think they're sort of around that mark where they were good to get into finals and that, but they lost some games. He also did some things through the year. I saw him do a few things in certain games that they lost where he just made poor decisions on field and didn't do what a captain should do in certain situations. I can't remember the game, but there was a game that they lost very narrowly, and he was kicking out from fullback, and in that point in the time, in that point of game, you go up the guts. You go long, straight up the guts. And he's a big, booming kick. Gives your team the best chance to take it down the other end and score. He kicked wide to a pocket, and just his game awareness wasn't quite right. So I think as far as that kind of thing goes, that's sort of why he gets a lower score from me.
I'm giving him
6 pretty fair.
6 from Ash. And I'm going to give him a 5 just because when I think of West Coast, I do not think of Shannon Hearn. I do not think of Shannon Hearn and his leadership.
Who do you think of?
Josh Kennedy.
Josh Kennedy. I think of, sadly, LaCroix. Sadly. I'm so sorry. Prittis. Those kind of people, I think, for their team. So
fair enough.
And then, finally, we got this young upstart, this up-and-comer, this new blood, Bob Murphy from the Western Bulldogs.
16.
This is only out of 10, Jack.
17.
I'm going to give him a 9 because Bob Murphy is a class act. Is a total class act. Any team would be lucky to have him. If he doesn't get a coaching role at Western Bulldogs, which if he wants it, he probably should, somebody else grab him because I'd want that person around my club. That he's a fantastic player.
Yeah.
If he doesn't go into the media, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah. There's nothing but nice things that I've never seen anybody say anything bad about Bob Murphy. When players talk about him, everybody's got the best thing to say. So that's a 9 from me.
Yeah. Ash, do you want to go?
I would give him an 8. Yeah, I think he's a great guy, but unfortunately the team's sort of fallen away under him this year. So it's a...
Yeah, I'd give him an 8 as well. I think the behind the scenes, he's echo everything you say, Ciaran, but there's some of the behind the scenes things that have gone on. He sort of has to be I guess, somewhat responsible for all of that. And if not, he probably would have got a 9. But you can't fault him too much. He's just a champion guy, and the players want to play for him. Like, they love him. Like, they will. Like, that's really important. Like, a leader is a captain. A good captain is someone who his players want to play for him, and
they want to win for Bob.
Yeah, exactly, and they do. The doggies. So yeah.
So, thank you very much for that trip down the leadership lane. I think it was a fantastic... I hope, listeners, you got something good out of that to actually think about good leaders and to see their qualities. Overall, for us, the winner is Joel Selwood for best captain.
Unsurprising.
So, good on him. Good on him.
Well done, Joel.
Jack.
Add it to the list of...
Good job. Have a clip. You are the opposite of the flog of the week. But, Jack, take us home with your topic, please.
I want to know what the bloody hell's going on down at the Bulldogs. What?
So if someone from the Bulldogs could please just call in.
Yeah.
Our number is 1
I'm
3.
And now this is going to be more of a rant than a discussion, I think. I'm just I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired of the speculation. So if you don't know, if you haven't been paying attention, it's come out last week that Jake Stringer, one of our star players, he's had a rough couple of years, personal issues, etc., etc. Apparently, the club don't want him. They want him out. They don't want him around the club anymore. They want him gone. He's made his peace with that, and he wants out. Now there's rumours coming out about Tom Liberatore needing to be gone, Luke Dalhouse wanting to be gone. The reason that I saw speculation and some stuff come out today around Tom Boyd. The reason he took some time off this year was because of internal bullying by some of the players. Were bullying him about his contract and that kind of thing, and his form, which is a reason apparently why he had to take some time off. There's constant rumour and innuendo and speculation and things coming out, and there's talk about our recruiting staff are not on the same page. We're going through another CEO. The president's ruling, with an iron fist, and people don't like to work with him, and the place is falling apart. Only the Bulldogs could stuff up what we had last year. Only we could do it. We get the most inspiring story in sport. This team hasn't won a grand final in 60 years. All of the injuries, the captain, the broken legs, the knees, this, that, and the other. Finishing 7th, having to go to Perth and then play against the reigning premiers and then go to the Great Western Sydney and then come back and play against Sydney and doing all of that and winning and getting over the line and having this platform now to... And what I said after they won the grand final last year was that what made me most happy about this was that this is going to set us up for the future. This is going to set us up financially. Our membership's going to be stronger than ever. We're going to be able to create a dynasty. We're no longer going to be one of the battler clubs. This is going to be fantastic, and we've managed to stuff it all up. Only we could manage to stuff that up. Somehow, they've buggered it up, I feel now how I felt at the end of 2014. The end of 2014, we lost our CEO, we lost our captain, we lost our Brownlow medalist, we lost our coach. People were walking out the door. The whole place got turned upside down. And that's how it feels right now. It feels like I'm right back there in that we have all this promise. We have all these great young players and they can't all get on the same page. And now they're bluing with the coach and the coach doesn't want them there. And it's not like McCartney. Like, we can't get rid of Bevo. He won us a flag. So the players need to conform. But apparently players want to play there, but Bevo doesn't want them. And I just don't know what to believe. I'm frustrated because no one from the club will come out and say anything. I want to know what is going on. I pay my membership every year. I pay my son's membership every year. I deserve to know. Tell me.
In my opinion, as an outsider looking in on this situation, I hadn't heard anything about this Jake Stringer stuff until today, actually. So I must have had my head in a hole or something.
Playing Destiny.
But yeah,
you've been in a Destiny crack hole.
That is true. I've been in my Destiny crack hole for the last week. So, didn't realise Jake Stringer was only 23. For some reason.
Yep.
Thought he was much older than that.
No, still young.
That's crazy.
Still a gun.
Still very young.
Yep.
So any team that would take him, very lucky. Very lucky.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a good development.
And you know what?
Right,
probably going because we don't want him. We're probably going to get bugger all for him. We're going to get like an end of first round draft pick or an early second round draft pick and some flog player.
And
Essendon Geelong. Apparently, everyone wants a bit, but everyone's coming out and saying we'd have him. Like everyone, St Kilda, West Coast, Essendon, Geelong, Richmond. Everyone's been like, "Yep, we'll have him." And why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
He's a gun. Like he's had a couple of bad years, but he's had some personal issues. He's broken up with his partner. He's a young father. He's got 2 young girls. He's been dealing with all of that. Obviously, the pressures of AFL football and trying to come up again after winning a flag. From reports that I've heard coming out of the club is that his preparation, and this isn't just him, but apparently there's a few players this year who haven't been fully committed to the cause. Their preparation hasn't been there. They, that he's been injured quite a lot this year, Stringer, and his attitude towards his rehab wasn't quite where it needed to be, and all that. But those are things that you can fix, and it just seems so. It's just so hard to take to hear that the coach is, and this is the other thing that is even more frustrating is no one from the club will come out and say anything. And like we're all just sitting here, the members are just sitting here, and we're wondering what the bloody hell is going on. We're getting different reports from, first these flogs like Damien Barrett and Caroline Wilson are just coming out and throwing barbs, and this is what they do, right? They throw poop at the wall, hoping eventually something will stick, and they just take shots in the dark, and they've been doing it. They do it every bloody year to try and break us down. But the club don't come out and say anything. This is the thing that frustrates me. If this rumour comes out, Stringer wants out, this, that, and the other, and all the media guys start going and selling their stories, but no one from the club comes out and goes, actually, no, everything's okay, we're working through it, that's rubbish. But no, they stay silent, which makes the rumour mill churn and churn and churn, and just gets worse and worse and worse.
That's because it's the end of the season. They're all on holiday.
Nobody's there to return the mail.
Yeah.
I think it's not answering gives the rumour mill more... it validates it.
Yeah, I agree.
When it shouldn't be, when it might not be valid, but it validates it when you're silent.
Yeah. And
Bevo is my second favourite coach in the league. I have so much respect for him. I respect for what he did for the club. And going forward, I was really surprised when I read that he was having so many issues with his opinions of players and things. So, whatever's going there, I really hope you guys work it out.
Me too.
Because I think this season more than any, coaches have had a rough year. For people like Rocket. Rocket had a rough year, but that was
poor Rocket.
Poor Rocket, man. Rocket had a rough time, and then when Sydney and Hawthorn had these bad starts, the first people to be questioned were the coaches. Like I didn't. What was when people started questioning Clarkson? I was like, what do you mean? How do people turn on this guy so quickly? He's been so fantastic for our club, and. Like even the thing that gives me respect for Clarkson is Clarkson went to the board and said, "Hey, if we need to look at our own, if we need to look at what we're doing, look at everything. Look at me. Look at from the top down and see what's going on." So I don't know what's going on with you guys. I really hope for the best because I have, even though I give you so much crap for it, I have so much respect for the Doggies. If the Doggies are one of the teams I'd always root for in the finals or in any games, as long as Hawthorn wasn't involved. So, I hope you guys get your stuff together.
Me too.
And find that magic. I think, especially with the trade rumors, I wasn't too surprised when Libba's name got pulled up. Because
apparently he's quite toxic. Which hurts me because I love Libba.
Especially, he went off the deep end after the final last year, so... coming back from that hasn't been good for him. Mm-hmm. I was really surprised about Dowhouse, though. I was really surprised when that rumour came out. So, I hope all the best for everybody and just you get your stuff together and you come back next season and play harder than ever.
Yeah. The frustrating thing is, though, I see last night, right? I see this report on Facebook. Someone posts, report Caroline Wilson says not only Stringer, but Liberatore and Dalhouse both want out as well. I'm like, oh, bloody hell. So I find the footage of it, and it is completely blown out of proportion. She goes, oh, obviously a stringer. It's like, there's been some mentions through the year about Liberatore and him being some issues, which has been widely reported for years. People are always trying to pin stuff on him because he's got a bit of a checkered past. And then she goes, oh, and I heard something today. Someone said something about Dalhouse, which she goes, which I would be, I don't think is anything. I would be, really surprised. He loves the club kind of thing, but that's a name that got thrown up today, but I don't think there's anything in it. She literally said that. She's like, I would be really surprised if he was, a player who wanted out. And then everyone jumps on it. The rumor mill goes, social media goes into overdrive. There's post this, post that. Dalhouse wants out, blah, blah, blah. And it's just a snowball. I hate it. Yeah. I just wish the club would come out and be honest, right? Be honest with us. Tell us what is the issue. Be like, yep. This is the thing that annoys me, is no one actually says what they actually mean. No one actually is honest and truthful. And no one comes out and is like, yeah, we're not happy with Jake. He's been poor this year. His preparation and his commitment has not been there, and we are not happy at all. We want him to stay, but X, and be honest and be like, yeah, we spoke about that. We had a heated discussion. We still want him to be a part of our club if he's happy to commit to us, etc., etc. Instead of just staying silent and letting the speculation
build.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, considering the topic I was thinking about today was how, like, social media and the news and, like, the media members have such a negative impact on
they're scum.
Everything in football.
They are scum.
On everything. It just is terrible. So,
I shouldn't say that. They're not all scum. Just Damien Barrett. Just Damien Barrett. He's scum. Very good. Nevertheless.
Want to move on to something a bit lighter for you, sir?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
It's time for Flog of the Week.
Flog of the Week. Boom.
We should get a song. We should get a song made up.
We should.
I'm
just
singing.
Introducing songs into all of our podcasts.
So some Flog of the Week nominations this week. We have the Newcastle Rugby League player who was banned for 10 years for hitting a young referee.
Yeah, that's a bit low.
10 years? Give him life. Why is this bloke even allowed to ever come back? It's ridiculous.
I'm sick of hearing these stories every week. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
This is like, people, stop being terrible.
Yeah.
As in Jack's words, stop being a dickhead.
Yep, 100%. Kieran dropped some nominations. The Essendon Football Club.
I did. Essendon Football Club, you bunch of flogs. No bias at all. It's like a
Charlie Dixon. Why'd you pick Charlie Dixon? I thought he had a really good game on the weekend.
He was 3-6. His kicking was atrocious that game. He
played a good game, though.
At the same time, he was fantastic. Every mark he took was fantastic, but 6 behinds in that game is a serious score. That
even one straight, they would have been. It would have been different.
Yeah,
game,
even he had two shots on goals within that last extra time and missed both of them. So
yeah, okay. I mean that's harsh, but okay.
Harsh words make men better.
David Koch.
David Koch, you spud, you flog. Stop talking to your players like that. My God,
he's a tool, isn't he?
You are too famous in the public eye to speak to people like that. I'm sure you could hire somebody to do that for you.
He just says words. He just says things, and it's just like you're not in the football department. You're on the board. Get out.
Just get out, dude.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. I saw Gold Coast is maybe trying to get Ken Hinckley. Do you reckon?
If I was Ken, I'd be like, yeah, I'm getting out of here. Get out of this bloody...
Gold Coast is a better option than Port?
This inbred town, and head up to the sunny Gold Coast and try and build that team up there. He came from Gold Coast. He was he was an assistant on the Gold Coast for many a year. I would not... if I was him, I'd be out. Like, don't have to deal with Kochi anymore. Although, their chairman's a bit of a flog as well.
We're adding flogs by the moment here, people.
He's not going to be in too much of a... bad spot.
He'll get to coach Hodgie next year.
I'm not going to nominate Luke Shuey for Flog of the Week. I'm going to nominate the umpire who paid that free kick to Luke Shuey as the Flog of the Week. I'm not sure exactly which one it was.
Can we, rather than the umpire, can you nominate the AFL for, like, backing it? That was, like, come on, don't back that, AFL. You look like you got egg on your face.
Yeah. So, our winner of Flog of the Week goes to, drum roll, Ciaran Marchant and Ashley Hobley.
I was waiting for it. I was totally waiting for the revenge.
For nominating me for Flog of the Week last week. Congratulations, boys. You're first, and I've no doubt it won't be the last.
I'd like
Flog
to
of the
thank Jack
week.
first for the inspiration of how to be the biggest flog on the Grandstand Gurus podcast. He's
good.
really brought me into the light and put me at my floggiest.
Proud of you guys. I'm proud of you both.
Welcome.
Very good.
Welcome.
All right, gentlemen, what are we looking forward to this weekend?
I am looking forward to... I don't know. I think I'm just looking forward to the Geelong-Sydney game.
Yeah.
Because that's just going to be... That's going to be a good game. But it also angers me when I look at the football this week and I realise how much of an easy run Richmond should have to the finals.
Oh, God, I know.
Ugh. Sad. Sad.
Yep. My Broncos are still in the finals. They're playing Panthers on Friday, I think. So
Who wins out of a Bronco and a Panther? Like, the Panther has claws, but the Bronco's kind of bit... I think a Panther wins.
the Bronco will, like, heel kick it or back kick it.
Mule
Kick it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Do you think they're gonna? Do you think they win?
Yeah,
Cash?
I'm pretty sure they'll win. I mean, it's going to be as long as they shore up their defense after last week, because they were dropping missing tackles like terrible last week. Yeah,
How did Silly Blater win? Did he play well?
he did.
I heard he broke a
Played
record,
well.
didn't he?
Did he?
He's
Good on you, Silly
I think
Blater.
he's got the most tries in finals. I think that's the record he broke or equaled.
Wow.
Attaboy,
Good
Billy.
job.
Attaboy.
Good job, Silly Blater.
Very good. I'm looking forward to the first ODI on Sunday, Australia and India. It'd be good to see. We've just obviously seen a short test series, so it'd be good to see the shorter format come out against the Indians in India. Just see how the boys go in that sort of still warming up for the Ashes. So get ready for that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Later on in the year, once the footy season finishes, we're going to shift focus and it will be cricket. So very exciting.
Peace.
I can't
Peace
wait.
out.
I can't wait. You're not a
Out.
fan? Not a fan?
No. Cricket is almost as bad as watching paint dry, in my opinion.
Oh, you suck. You suck.
I do.
Cricket's
I
awesome.
do.
Actually, you like cricket, don't you?
Yeah, it's all
He
right.
does.
Oh, you know. I know. We have to find some people who want to talk
You know,
about
some
cricket.
Guests.
Jesus.
Well, I just,
We'll still be playing Destiny 2. That's all.
become an esports pro, so you have to talk about me next year.
Oh,
Let's
God.
do it.
Interesting.
Do it.
But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to the first ODI, so it'll be good. And obviously Sydney and Geelong, that's going to be a cracker. So, very good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Grandstand Gurus. This is a product of the Explosion Network. You can find all of our content over at www.explosionnetwork.com. You can go to explosionnetwork.com/extralife. Check out all the things there. We are participating this year in Extra Life for the Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto, Canada. We will be raising money for the kiddies, so jump on there. You can donate now. I believe we're up to $155 already. We're going to have to stretch that $1,000 target, I reckon, because we're going to smash that out of the park. So if everyone could jump over there, if you can donate $1, $5, whatever it is, it all goes to a fantastic cause. We really want to help the kids. But in November, we will be streaming for 24 hours on twitch.tv/Explosion Network for the Extra Life 24-hour charity stream. So as part
Jack's
of the kind of
stun
funny vids,
Ciaran.
I'm going to stun Ciaran. We are adding that to
You're gonna
the...
stun me?
I'm going to stun
Stun, you
Ciaran.
should. Do it.
We're going to add that to the tiers.
If you want to see me get stunned,
I'll be maiming
beans.
out my body with our network logo if we hit a certain milestone. So you can check out all of that over at explosionnetwork.com/extralife, all of the tiers, all the challenges. If you've got any suggestions, please let us know for challenges and things we can do. But above all else, money. We need your money for the kids. So make that happen. You can follow us all on Twitter. Ashley is at Ashley Hobley, ASHLEY, Ciaran is at your boy Ringo. I am at Kruse_mate, and the Explosion Network is at Explosion Pod. Thank you so much for joining us again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Remember, like, subscribe, share us with your friends and with your mother. Until next time, plat, plat! Keep on grandstanding.
Friendly neighborhood ad read Dylan here. On November 4th, the Explosion Network will be taking part in Extra Life, playing and streaming 24 hours of games to raise money for the Sick Kids International Hospital in Toronto. The crew will be together under one roof doing ridiculous challenges each time we hit a fundraising milestone, and it's all for the kids. So come help out. Head over to explosionnetwork.com/extralife for all the details, times, and suggest any challenges, goals, or games you'd like to see us play. Watch our Extra Life video. It's up on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Share it on your own social media. Don't forget to hit that like button and get the word around so we can help raise some good dollars and see us do some ridiculous stuff. Don't forget our weekly podcasts. Pleasure Explosion on Monday, Platinum Explosion on Tuesdays, and Grandstand Gurus goes up every Thursday, and they all go live at 12 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Plat plat.
And if you're not down with that, Ash has got 2 words for ya.
Oh, he stuffed it up.
Ash.
Oh,
Suck
he stuffed
it.
What do you say? Suck it.
Oh,
Can you
no.
I was trying to think of something clever to say, but I couldn't.
Ruined. You should have saying suck it's clever.
I guess.